Welcome you to Warner Park for the second semi-final encounter of the Sknfa's FA Cup. This encounter sees SL Horsford United St. Paul's. They will be taking on Skelec Garden Hotspurs. Both teams qualified to get here over the weekend, and Skelec Garden Hotspurs, they defeated Azul Keon Rockets by 2-1. Very tight encounter. One can even say maybe through controversial means, but Skelec Garden Hotspurs got past Keon 2-1. And SL Horsford St. Paul's United, they got past Tropical Blossom Bath United. They won that game 3-0. So the pathway here would have been challenging for both teams, especially in that quarterfinal or round of 16 game. And SL Horsford breezed through their previous encounter against Security Forces 8-0, whereas Garden Hotspurs, they won against Village Galaxy 4-0. So that was their pathway here. And they're now in the semifinals and all to play for a chance to play against Rams Village Superstars, who just defeated Sol Island Auto Supplies Connery in penalty kicks 7-6. So it's a lot to play for, and as we await the start, I'm also waiting the starting lineups for you for both teams. But this one is eagerly anticipated. Much riding on it presently. Skelec Garden Hotspurs, a team that is in the first division, and some fans from Skelec Garden Hotspurs are suggesting they're going to be the first team from the first division to take the FA Cup. Game is on the way, and we see St. Paul's with an early opportunity here in the box, and it's Kalonji, and it's in the back of the net. Kalonji, Clark for SL Horsford St. Paul's United, opening the goal scoring here in the first minute. Some probably 15-16 seconds into this first half, and Kalonji Clark down the right side, getting into the box unmarked and curling one to the far post. 1-0. Spurs are down early, and St. Paul's wasting no time. Are we going to get a very quick restart here? No. I find, for me, that situation, teams are celebrating. I think the official can give the players an opportunity to celebrate a goal. They haven't been 30 seconds into their celebrations, and it's already hustling the game along. But pass taken here by Spurs. Adams with it. He's going back into midfield. And Spurs finding themselves down very early here. Long ball being played here. A rousing applause in the background for the Rams Village Superstars team. They have just triumphed over Connery. So Garden Hotspurs not even getting a chance to settle. And Kalonji Clark pounced on a ball that was played through. He found himself unmarked along the right side, and going onto his favored left foot, he curled it into the far corner, getting past the custodian for Skelec Garden Hotspurs. But the throw-in being taken here. Ball into midfield. Headed forward by Liebert. Mopped up in defense by Warner. Playing it forward for Spurs. Ball being touched forward here. And a shot being taken, but goes into the safe hands of the goalkeeper for St. Paul's. Again, still haven't gotten the starting lineups for you. Still awaiting them. But St. Paul's in the ascendancy very, very early. Lots of work for Spurs to do. Liebert heading this one into touch. And Spurs will need to settle down and get their passing game going if they are to create some problems for St. Paul's. St. Paul's would have lost out to MFCR Old Road United Jets in the finals last year, and they're looking to get back into the finals with an opportunity to play Rams Village Superstars. I think Garden Hotspurs will have other ideas. They have made their way here. They looked good against Keon and are going to have to find an equalizer at some point to give themselves a chance. Playing it around in defense. Sporting a three-man defensive unit, really. There, St. Paul's much quicker to the ball. Again, giving it away is Garden Hotspurs. Libert with an opportunity. No, but very quick off the line. This is goalkeeper for Spurs, Nevis. Hitting this one long. Omar Francis getting onto that one. Keitoy Freeman trying to latch onto it, unable to do so. Ball bouncing around in midfield. Both teams not controlling it yet. But Challenger gets a touch onto it. He's sprinting down the left side. Cover. And this one struck long by the goalkeeper. Adams into midfield. Looking for some support. Not finding it. Leader picking up this one. Going forward to Nikon Phipps. Phipps gets around his marker and he's clipped. And foul. So if you're just joining us in the very first minute of play, perhaps the first 15 seconds of play, St. Paul's were able to get an opening goal. Kalonji Clark got into some space along the left side. And it's very interesting. He's down at the moment. And he went off in the game against Security Forces. My understanding, he had a hamstring issue. And I'm thinking hamstrings don't really heal that quickly. And one is hoping that he's okay. Well, St. Paul's fans, they would be hoping that he is okay. But moving off field quite comfortably. And a free kick here for St. Paul's to be taken. Missing no action at the moment. Referee asking the ball to be taken back where the infringement happened. Whistle goes. Ball floated, going to meet the first defender. But it comes out to Omar. He's going to allow that to run into touch. Challenger was chasing for all his worth. Would not have caught up to that one. Francis, the captain for St. Paul's, with it now. As he takes a throw in, goes long. Nikon Phipps getting his head onto it, but coming off the body of the defender for Spurs. Much anticipation here. Spurs really would not what the doctor would have ordered for them. They wouldn't have wanted to go down early against a team like St. Paul's. But 1-0 down. And they have some defending to do at the moment. Ball into the box, into the area. But Libert getting it forward to Omar Francis. He's getting a big boot onto it, just keeping it alive. Battle here in midfield. There is Freeman. Freeman playing it back for his defender. But had no other option. Coming under some pressure there and had to clear it. Spurs with a throw. On the far side. Playing it long for Challenger. But that one is dealt with. Warner for Spurs to Challenger. Coming from an offside position. And the flag goes up. Spurs could ill afford for St. Paul's to dominate this play. They must be aggressive in midfield. They must try and win that battle. They must try and possess the ball. Giving St. Paul's an opportunity to play those very direct long balls could create problems for them. But at the moment, it's a midfield battle. You have to contend with the likes of Libert and Leader in midfield. It's going to be Francis on it. Loses out to leader. Goes wide to Kalonji, and Kalonji is brought down there. By Baptiste. So the number 25 is Baptiste. Standing over this free kick. Down the right side, we see a crowd of players on the far post in the penalty area. Free kick to be taken by Kalonji. The whistle goes now. Kalonji with that left foot, he goes flat, unable to get past the one-man wall that was presented. And a strong tackle here. But this one comes off of the number 66 for Garden Hotspurs. Maxine. St. Paul sporting a very senior elder statesman in their defense in Williams, number 3. This one is played by Omar Francis. Gerard Williams would have held that central defensive position for St. Kitts for some time. But it's Baptiste with it now, going all the way back to his goalkeeper, Vanterpool. Vanterpool, he's going to look long. Only to the head of Williams. But brings under control now is Keith Roy Freeman. He goes wide and in an offside position. Appears to be Nikwan Phipps. Yes. But Spurs can ill afford that much space for players of the likes of Freeman. Vanterpool with long ball being played. The direction of challenger. Gets it on his chest. Has a defender behind him in Francis. Francis goes down and he gets the call in his favor. Quick free kick taken by St. Paul's, going all the way back to Fleming. Ordell. He's been in the central defense for St. Paul's. Now, this one being played long. Baptiste gets his head onto it. Picked up in midfield. Turning his Phipps. Finding Liebert. Liebert to Clark. Clark was looking to find the runner of Freeman, but that one went straight to the goalkeeper. Long ball being played again by Spurs, not getting very far with it. But here is Gerard Williams, former national player, would have had some 70 plus caps to his name, and one couldn't ask for a better inclusion into the St. Paul's defense than Williams. Yes, he may be up in age, but the experience would settle the nerves of any defense in this league. Adams with it, loses it out, finds comes back to Liebert for St. Paul's. Was looking long for Freeman. That one was intercepted. Freeman on it now. There's the leader. Leader goes wide. Ball being played forward for Nikon Phipps. He gets the run on his defender, Warner. Warner trying to stop him, but he's into the area now. And a powerful shot taken, but easily taken by Vanterpool. A good opportunity created there by St. Paul's. Down that left side. Phipps cutting in on that right foot and getting the shot off in the penalty area, but Vanterpool was equal to the task. Spurs with it now, going back to Baptiste. Baptiste finding Maxine. Maxine clipping it into the middle, but more or less giving it away. Vionway Francis brings this one under control. And Vionway Francis finds Liebert. Liebert looking long, right side for Clark, unable to get onto the end of that one, and it goes into touch. I have my apologies. The goalkeeper for Spurs is Tuckett and not Vanterpool. And there is another goal here. And it's Vionwe Francis, the youngster for St. Paul's. And that's goal number 2 here in minute number 14. So St. Paul's in the ascendancy. Very, very early days here. And Garden Hotspurs are making a mess of it in defense. But Vionwe Francis, the number 10, and one could say he comes from St. Paul's footballing royalty. Would be nephew to Rohan Francis. Well, 2-0, and Spurs with a lot of work to do. Can they come back from this very early? We know St. Paul's a team needing to get back to the finals, feeling that they lost out quite easily against Old Road last year. And coming up against a Spurs team that I think would have done well to get here, but will need to be much more clinical, much more safe and sound in their defense. And they haven't been able to do that. Some goals in minute number 1 and in minute number 14. Minute number 1 by Kalonji Clark and in minute number 14 by Vionwe Francis. So lots of work for Spurs to do, but they have the ball now, just over the halfway line. This one is going to be clipped into the penalty area. Long ball being played, comes out to Max Sheen, and he still has it. Comes back to Adams. Adams going to his left. He's going to come all the way back to Baptiste. And down is Max Sheen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, it's the semifinals, second semifinals, with Skelec Garden Hotspurs taking on SL Horsfords St. Paul's United, and Spurs finding themselves down in the first 15 minutes, 2-0. Opening goal coming in the first minute via the left boot of Kalonji Clark, and the second goal coming from Vionwe Francis in the 14th minute of play. Spurs will have to be a lot more tidy, otherwise this could be a runaway game for St. Paul's. But presently Spurs with it now, looking to mount an attack on the right side, cleared by St. Paul's, hitting long as Vionwe Francis. Was looking for the run from Kalonji Clark, but that was not to be. Goes into touch. St. Paul's pressing Spurs right now, forcing a clearance from Tuckett. And quick throw being taken, but it's going to be adjudged a foul throw, so it goes in favor of Garden Hotspurs. The official has pointed in favor of Garden Hotspurs. St. Paul's are not pleased with the call. Nonetheless, it's going to go the way of Garden Hotspurs. Baptiste taking the throw to Adams. Adams, not a good pass back. Two players converging on it for Spurs. Getting it forward momentarily. Leader with it goes to Omar. Omar looks long, but that should find its way to the safe hands of Tuckett. It's a lot of work for Spurs to do. 2-0 down to St. Paul's. Ordell Fleming clears, but comes back to Allen. It's going to be Spurs with it now down the right side. Challenged by Nikon Phipps, and that one is going to go into touch. This one is going to be put into touch. Spurs inching closer to that 18-yard area. Long throw to be taken. Gets into the penalty area now. And a bicycle attempt there. But that one was never going to be on target. Perhaps it's Spurs' first shot of any kind. It was Challenger trying the overhead bicycle kick. Not getting that one coming off. St. Paul's with Uzal Hodge in goal. He's going to take the goal kick. We're in minute number 19. Long ball played just over the halfway line. Two players converging on it for Spurs. Nikon Phipps getting a touch forward. He goes down the left side. He has a defender to deal with. Two. Now he gets around both of them. Can he get the cross in? He does so. He goes to the far post. Looking is Kalonji, but he was unable to get on it. And some good defensive work. Can Spurs counter, but this one is averted by St. Paul's. Adams with it in midfield. He needs some help. Finds it by the way of Challenger. Challenger goes further forward. Adams unable to find some support, and that one goes into touch. Kalonji Clark just about the half line, unable to control. Goes into touch. Spurs with a throw in. 2-0 if you're just joining us. Skelec Garden Hotspurs, they're down to St. Paul's 2-0. They went down in the first minute, and the second goal came in the 14th minute of play. But here is Adams in midfield, picking up the loose ball. Comes all the way back to Dave Warner. Warner looks for his options. He finds Baptiste on the left side. Showing for it is Challenger. Challenger having Williams chasing him down. But Challenger with it down the left side. Gerard Williams in attendance. He cuts on the inside. He comes back. Still has the ball. He decides to clip it in, but it's going to be very easy for Uzal Hodge coming off his line to collect this one. St. Paul's in total control of this one so far. Not much of a threat from Spurs, but here's Vion Francis. This one bouncing loose. Freeman was trying to get on the end of it, unable to do so. Tuckett clears. Into midfield it comes. It's going to be Diaz, Maturo Diaz for Spurs. Looking for some support. Still with it now. Finds it in McSheen. McSheen with a very powerful left foot. The cross is coming in now. And an opportunity. Goes a begging there for Challenger. A good cross coming from McSheen. Challenger was the target. He got the one on Ordell Fleming, but was unable to find the finishing product. So if St. Paul's thought that Spurs were here to lie down, that's their first indication that that's not the case. Challenger here on the top of the penalty area, but opting for a back heel. Was hoping for some support. That didn't come. Long ball being played. Ordell Fleming with it now for St. Paul's. Looking long, was looking to find Freeman. That was intercepted. Spurs gets onto the ball now. Challenger is the man on it. Two players around him. How is he going to get out of this one? He swivels his way, but that one goes out of touch. Not being able to get around Darren Thomas and Ordell Fleming, two very solid defenders. But it's Ordell Fleming with it now. Finds Gerard Williams. And again, yes, Gerard Williams, former national player, would have served this country for a long time. Some 70+ caps he would have had. But it's Vion Francis and Baptiste battling for it. Baptiste been called for that infringement. So in the transfer window, St. Paul's were able to get Gerard Williams. Would have played some semi-pro football for some years. Coming back home and being able to play in this league, it's a great addition for St. Paul's. Team that's vying for championships. They are always looking to win something. But there's no question about their attitude this evening. 2 goals to the good against Gordon Hotspurs thus far here in the 23rd minute of play. And with a corner and an opportunity to try and get a third. Spurs would have other ideas. They have They have to defend well here, not give St. Paul's an opportunity for a third goal. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to come back from that. St. Paul's thrusting their taller players forward with Kalonji on the top of the area. Near post is that it comes this one. Not a great corner taken by Leader. That's Jackie Leader to take this one. Normally it would be Kalonji, but Kalonji opting to just stay on the top of the 18. Coming to the near post. Again, it's problematic for Spurs, and it's going to be another corner. So it's the third corner in succession. The fourth or fifth for the evening for St. Paul's. And Spurs would have some marking to do. See Freeman right there on the near post. Two players for St. Paul's right there. Him and Omar Francis. And they're aiming for both of them. And this one into the back of the net. Omar Francis gliding that one off his head. Well, I'm saying it's Omar Francis. And I'm certain if it was Omar or it was Kitoy. And it's goal number 3. This one, Spurs have been blown away. Here, it's 25 minutes played. I'm going to seek some confirmation if it was Omar. A long shot being taken here, but Uzal Hodge is onto it. I'm seeking confirmation if it was Omar Francis or Kitoy Freeman who got ahead on that one. Baptiste jumping, missing the header, but McSheen was able to deal with it. Baptiste on it, finding McSheen down the left side, forcing it to Diaz. Diaz clipping Williams. St. Paul's, they have put themselves in a very good position very early on. And so far, it's been all St. Paul's, one-way traffic in this encounter. Not as tight as the previous one. But here's Jackie Leader on the ball for St. Paul's. Gets it back. Dispossess. Well, it was Freeman, and that's the confirmation. It was Kitoy Freeman, the serial goal scorer for St. Paul's. Lots of work here for Spurs to do. It's Kalonji. Kalonji hitting this one all the way to the left side for Darren Thomas. Well controlled. Finding Phipps. Phipps running along the left side, but he's going to be dispossessed. And it's going to go out for a goal kick. Can Spurs mount any sort of attack here to get back into this one? It's a lot of work to do. Tuckett hitting this one long. Jackie Leader, he wins the header. Ordell Fleming seeks to clear, but the foul goes against him. We're in the 27th minute of play. 3-0. Goals coming from Kalonji Clark, minute number 1. Vionre Francis, minute number 14. And in the 24th minute of play, it was Kitoy Freeman. This one hit into the area, but Uzal Hodge comes to the top of his 6-yard box and collects that one gleefully and comfortably. This one is going to go into touch. Overhit by Ordell Fleming. It's been one-way traffic. More often than not, when St. Paul's get forward, they're looking like they can score. So the defense for Spurs, it hasn't held up. But it's going to be Challenger. Challenger giving it away to Kalonji Clark. He finds Freeman. Freeman finds Liebert. Liebert was looking to reverse that one to Kalonji. Intercepted. It's going to be Charles miscontrolling for Spurs. Spurs at the moment not up to it with St. Paul's. And if they're not careful, Spurs would have inflicted a Sorry, St. Paul's would have inflicted a 9-0 defeat to Security Forces. And they are a Premier Division team at the moment. Spurs being a First Division team would have to show their worth, would have to show their mettle. Or their confidence could be heavily dented here this evening. This one played long. Williams just guiding his header to Ardell Fleming. Playing it forward, looking for Phipps, but Adams picks up into midfield, finds Diaz. Diaz looking to muscle his way through. It's going to be difficult to muscle your way through against any one of the leader brothers, but this one hits against the chest of Williams and goes into the arms of Hodge. This one hit very long. It's going to bounce just in front of the penalty area, and Tuckett handles it easily. No movement, not much movement from the Spurs players. He's looking for options, clearing. Just basically hopeful ball forward. But it's Omar Francis clearing now. McSheen gets his head onto it. And an infringement against Kalonji. Well, against McSheen, he was pushing Kalonji in the back. And Sanchez Bass, the official, was on that one. Omar Francis playing it forward. Spurs looking to pick this one up, getting forward now, looking for Diaz, unable to find him. Thomas with it, finding Leader. Leader turns, has much space, find Nikon Phipps down the left side. Phipps traveling with this one, closer to the area, tackle comes in. He's still with it. Somehow he still has it, but a clearing header by Dave Warner. Finds Diaz now, Diaz with it. Strong tackle by Thomas. And a very early response from the referee issuing the yellow card. Darren Thomas was late on his challenge, and the official had no other option but to issue the first yellow card to Darren Thomas. But it was a bit of a miscontrol as well by Diaz. He'd want to be much tighter with his control here. Can't afford to give St. Paul's those opportunities. You're down 3-0, and we're just half an hour played, and you want to maintain some possession. Build your confidence. Get the ball passing around. Get your movement better. But opting for the long ball here. It's just going to find the head of Omar Francis. McSheen, though, gets the loose ball, finding Adams. Adams looking to find Charles. Charles gets control. He reverses it to Liebert. Liebert just squares it to Freeman. Freeman looking for the run of... But it's going to be Rihanna Francis. And taking a shot, but just going wide. So Vion Francis finding himself in some space. The pass really intended for Kalonji, but Kalonji was unable to get on the end of it. Too much space for the players from St. Paul's coming in from midfield. And it simply says that the midfield pairing of Diaz and Adams are not tracking back well enough to cover them. This one played forward to Challenger. Miscontrol. Liebert picks it up in midfield. Showing for it is Kalonji. Kalonji clipping it forward. Was hoping to find Freeman, but that one finds Tuckett. McSheen nonetheless has it for Spurs. Hitting it long. Allen unable to get that one. Finds Williams. Williams plays with Fleming. Good touch there by Phipps, but Phipps unable to get the finishing product to Freeman. But it's going to be Baptiste in defense. Has it. Looking for options. Adams shows with it, plays a little 1-2, gets to Adams again. Still 2 players in front of him, no one supporting. So, well, finds Charles. Charles gets it, goes back to Baptiste. Baptiste is going to play with his goalkeeper in Tuckett. So now, with some space, needs to find movement on the top. Challenger gets a touch onto it. Looks long for Maxine. Has some running to do. Can he bring it under control? No. That one goes into touch. And was unable to keep that one in play. Not a bad idea. Got some movement along the left side by Maxine. Just unable to keep it in play. If you're just joining us, you're listening to the Sknfa semifinals for the FA Cup. First encounter, we saw Rams Village Superstars winning on penalties against Island Auto Supplies Connery. And now we have the second semifinals. It's SL Horsfords St. Paul's United taking on Garden Hotspurs. A deep shot taken by Ordell, but easily collected by Tuckett. And this one got on to a very bright start by St. Paul's, scoring in the first minute, perhaps the first 15-20 seconds of the game. And it was Kalonji Clark who opened the goal scoring. And bit of talk there between Maxine and Omar Francis. But if he knows Omar loves that sort of a verbal confrontation to get you out of your game. And Maxine will be advised to get in any talking battles with Omar Francis. He's going to do that for the rest of the night. And he loves that sort of thing. But good movement here by Charles. Charles finds Challenger. Challenger just on the top of the box. He's impeded. No call. No call there for Challenger. He stays down. Play continues. It's Adams. Adams looking for Maxine. Challenger unmoved. And now the whistle goes. As I was suggesting that Spurs went down 1-0. Opening goal came from Kalonji Clark. Then the second came in the 14th minute via the boot of Vion Ray Francis. And the third came via the head of Keith Roy Freeman in the 24th minute of play. It's 3-0. If you're just joining us in this second semi-finals here at Warner Park, the Sknfa's FA Cup semi-finals. We're missing no action at the moment as Challenger. He's getting some attention. And both of these teams got their way here, winning their 2 encounters. St. Paul's getting past Security Forces 9-0. And against Bath United 3-2. And Spurs, on the other hand, they beat Village Galaxy 4-0 and got past the very tough challenge of Azul Keon Rockets 2-1. But they're struggling here against the superiority of the St. Paul's United team. They have been in so many finals before, and they're looking to get back to the finals. Ram Village Superstars, they have qualified already. And being 3-0 the good here against Spurs. Spurs, they have a lot of work to do to get back into this encounter. Maxine gets the drop ball, and he benefited from a call against Keon, where Keon had the ball in a fair play situation, and they got the possession of the ball, and he struck it goalwards. The Keon goalkeeper touched it, and it went into the goal. And nice to see the official getting it correct here this evening in this particular encounter where there was an injury and Spurs rightfully got the ball back. Hence the reason I said Spurs would have gotten here perhaps with some controversy. But a corner here for Spurs to be taken by Maxine, and this one is not going to stay in play. Not a very good corner taken. had players like Dave Warner getting forward, hoping to get his head onto one, but a very poor corner taken by Max Sheen. Perhaps getting out of his game, getting into a talking battle with Omar Francis is ill-advised. Well, it's going to be Freeman. Freeman looking for Kalonji. Controls this one comfortably. He waits for the run of Francis. Dave Warner will deal with that one. Gets out to Raquel Allen. Diaz looking to find Charles. Omar Francis not pleased with the challenge from Charles. I was having a word with the official, but Vianre Francis gets on with it now. Goes back to Darren Thomas. Thomas finds Freeman. Freeman to Francis. It's an infringement. St. Paul's getting some youngsters opportunity now, including a player the likes of Vianre Francis. Very young, still a teenager. Have players like Green on the bench, very good as well. So lots of talent in the St. Paul's outfit. And we have Jackie, a leader in the middle. Not seeing the other leader brother this evening. But comes back to Williams. Williams squares this one to Ordell. Hits this one long. On running is Darren Thomas, but got a heavy touch. Gave it away. Foul there on Ordell, pushing. Getting his hands out. Sanchez Bass, he has been on top of the play. You are in minute number 41, 41st minute of play. 3-0 here in the first half. St. Paul's in the ascendancy. Garden Hotspurs, they have not been able to breach the defense for St. Paul's, but a yellow card has been shown. It appears to either Ordell Fleming or Gerard Williams. And that might have been for dissent. Second yellow card going to St. Paul's. Free kick taken just on the edge of the penalty area. Freeman picks up the loose ball. No, he's dispossessed by Adams, but he gets it back. Tuck it. It's going to be Dave Warner for Garden Hotspurs. Has some space. Looks wide for Max Sheen. It's only going to find the head of Francis. But Libert with it. Goes back to Omar Francis. Kalonji Clark showing some support, but it was intercepted by Charles. It's going to be Jackie, a leader. Allen hounding him. Omar Francis with it now, trying to clear. It's going to be Warner. Some defending to do. Still in front of Phipps, still challenging. Wins that one momentarily, but picked up by Kalonji, but dispossessed by Diaz. Goes back to Max Sheen. Charles with it. Showing too much of the ball, was intercepted. Dave Warner still challenging, gets a clearing challenge. This one picked up by Adams. No. Tackle from behind from Phipps, and Adams going down in a heap. Very delayed response by him, but nonetheless going down. It's 3-0. We are in the closing moments of the first half of play in the second semifinals, the Sknfa's FA Cup. Missing no action. There's Adams down, getting some treatment. And St. Paul's we're still receiving some treatment is Adams, but he gets to his feet now. So play will we start? No. It's 3-0. St. Paul's leading this encounter quite comfortably. They haven't had much work to do defensively. As Spurs, they have not been able to mount too much of positive attacks. One good opportunity for Challenger. But here is Charles playing it in midfield for Diaz. Diaz goes wide. It's one forced forward. Challenger not looking to control, just looking to get a flick onto it. But perhaps because he was crowded out by defenders, Spurs cannot be giving the ball away. Must possess it, try and create a more passing game to put St. Paul's under some pressure. We're in the 45th minute of play. This one played long, Freeman trying to control, but some good defensive work by Spurs. It's what's required against St. Paul's. You must be tough, you must be strong. But here is Thomas finding Liebert. St. Paul's are going to come all the way back to Williams. Williams controls, assesses his options. Given a minimum of 2 minutes added time. Ordell Fleming plays long for Freeman. We will have a minimum of 2 minutes added time. Strong challenge by Diaz. Fionwe was shielding really strong, and an infringement. Spurs would not want to give another opportunity, another goal to St. Paul's going into half time. It's 3-0. It's not over, but they would want to regroup and come again. We must defend well here for the last few minutes. Now they can counter. Coming forward, and again just plays this one straight at the defender. He had an opportunity to just slip it wide. But here is Charles. Charles looks forward for Challenger, but played wide. It's Nikon Phipps looking to control. He has Warner to deal with. Warner plays back to Tuckett. Tuckett just plays it to Vionwe. Should have been looking long, but Adams finds Allen. Allen turning, goes square. Spurs now can use some space. This one just aimlessly given away. And it's been the story of the night for Skelec Garden Hotspurs. Just unable to get their passing game going. Just really very sloppy in most areas of their game. And perhaps hence they're down 3-0. St. Paul's is a very clinical team and can't give them opportunities like this. But here's Vionwe Francis turning in midfield, finding the run of Darren Thomas, but he's a bit too early and in an offside position. And that will be the last kick of the game, of the half. Have my apology. I beg your pardon. It's the last kick of the half, and the first half ends 3-0 in favor of St. Paul's. Goals coming from Kalonji Clark in minute number 1. In minute number 14, Vionwe Francis, he struck. And in minute number 24, Keith Roy Freeman, serial goal scorer, he was able to get the third goal. And it's been the story of the half, dominated totally by St. Paul's, and they are in the position that they want to be, looking for a berth into another finals of the FA Cup. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have a very short break here for half time, and we will join you in 15 minutes to bring you coverage of the second half of play of the Sknfa's semi-final of the FA Cup here at Warner Park.
The defending champions are out and the Premier League leaders stunned. Quarterfinal action in the 2025 Sknfa FA Cup delivered excitement and shock. The latest result on Saturday, May 10th at Warner Park saw Premier League leaders Azul KL Rockets dumped from the competition with a 2-1 defeat to Sknfa Division 1 team Skelec Garden Hotspurs. Mohajirat Hajari put Spurs ahead in the 27th minute, only for Vince Roy Nelson to equalize in the second half in the 49th minute with a stunning free kick. But in a moment of madness following a stoppage in play due to a player's injury and with fair play resuming, Marvin McSheen booted a ball just beyond the halfway line towards Keon's goalkeeper Kai Trotman, who failed to control the ball, sending it in the back of the net, despite his best efforts to keep it out. That sent Warner Park in pandemonium with a mixture of shock and surprise by Keon fans and wild celebration by Spurs fans. That was in the 87th minute, and with 9 minutes added on, Keon tried to find an equalizer to no avail. Steve Archibald of Spurs was issued a red card on the bench as tensions flared after that sequence. Spurs coach Stephen Clark said after the match that he was very proud of his players who worked hard for this win.
They really worked hard, they really put the effort, they did exactly what we asked them to do, and we came out with a victory. I don't think we do nothing less than a victory tonight. No. And it's a very important victory. One, he has a chance then to get in the semi-finals because we still want to compete and at least win a trophy this season, and FA Cup is a chance for us to do that. You know, it's also a chance competing against a premier side, the top of the league, leading the league, and this win will boost well for us going into the remainder of the season also. That we know we can compete with this team in the Premier, so then we should just catapult and take this win and use it as a boost for the first division, second round.
Garden Hotspurs are the only Division 1 team left in the competition and have booked their spot in the semi-finals. In the night's earlier match, SL Horses St Paul's United came from 1-0 down to defeat Tropical Blossom Hot Spring Bath United 3-2. Chris Jeffers scored the first goal for Bath in the 19th minute, but in the second half it was all St Paul's. Bejonre Francis scored a brace in the 55th and 58th minutes, and Javon Leader added a third in the 66th minute. However, Dejal Myers scored a stunning bicycle kick to get one back for Bath and gave the division outfit hope for an equalizer. On Friday, May 9th, FA Cup quarterfinal actions began with an elimination of the defending champions MFCR Old Road United Jets. Tiquani Williams signaled his return to local football in fine style, as always, scoring Old Road's goal in the 39th minute. But within 3 minutes of the match, Village scored an equalizer and the winner with goals from Kaja Burnham in the 79th minute and Kimari Rogers in the 82nd minute. That match was followed by an exciting encounter in Saul Allen Auto Supply's Connery FC and Development Bank St. Peters FC, which ended up in penalties after a 1-1 scoreline in regulation time. Connery's Javern Matthews scored in the 47th minute, but an own goal by Keandre Maynard in the 78th minute ensured St. Peters earned a goal and forced penalties. To the semi-final stage on Tuesday, Rands Village Superstars will take on Saul Allen Auto Supply's Connery FC at 6:30 p.m., followed by SL Horses St. Paul's United versus Skelec Garden Hotspurs at 8:30 p.m.
David finding Tewell at the back and shot coming in there, and Tewell not able to get that one on target as that one goes out for a goal kick. Amri waits for the whistle. Whistle goes. Amri chips that one over, heads go up, and Kevin Stanley getting a touch, and St. Peters kicking that one off of the goal line. That one was head straight into the hands of Kevis Hanley.
Nicely, Isaac met by the skipper, finds a shot. Hits off a defender, then Nick one finds a shot. My goodness, I thought that was in. I thought that was in. Saunders was beaten for days. That is the mindset. Hits this one over. Looks like it's going to the goalkeeper. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Had he put that one down, the goalkeeper did not get a hand to that.
Mitchum. Very good free kick. Over the top of the wall. Curling into the corner. And that's goal number 1 for Keon. Struggled for goal scorers in their last encounter. But here is Johannes Mitchum. Brilliant free kick being taken. The goalkeeper may have moved up. Here is Mervyn Lewis. Goes back to French. French. Not a good cross. Lewis still with it. Can he get a shot off? He does so. And that one thumped into the back of the net by Mervyn Lewis. The goalkeeper reacted even a bit late. And he is the leading goal scorer for Keon this season. And he has picked up his 6th goal. Another good touch forward for Lavia. Lavia challenging strong. Can he open his account here? Getting around Tudor and just simply slots it home. Lavia opens his account at all, and he can find himself in trouble. Just getting back, a shot taken here, and it's gonna be in the back of the net. A left-footed shot. Tudor was hustling back. 41st minute of play. It's the number 25 Maxim cleared. Gets across in, and it's gonna be a penalty. The player this opportunity for a penalty. Whistle goes. Lavia runs up and just slots it to the right of Tudor. It's goal number 3 here in.
The defending champions are out and the Premier League leaders stunned. Quarterfinal action in the 2025 Sknfa FA Cup delivered excitement and shock. The latest result on Saturday, May 10th at Warner Park saw Premier League leaders Azul KR Rockets dumped from the competition with a 2-1 defeat to Sknfa Division 1 team Skelec Garden Hotspurs. Mohajirat Hajari put Spurs ahead in the 27th minute, only for Vince Roy Nelson to equalize in the second half in the 49th minute with a stunning free kick. But in a moment of madness following a stoppage in play due to a player's injury and with fair play resuming, Marvin McSheen booted a ball just beyond the halfway line towards Keon's goalkeeper Kai Trotman, who failed to control the ball, sending it in the back of the net, despite his best efforts to keep it out. That sent Warner Park in pandemonium with a mixture of shock and surprise by Keon fans and wild celebration by Spurs fans. That was in the 87th minute, and with 9 minutes added on, Keon tried to find an equalizer to no avail. Steve Archibald of Spurs was issued a red card on the bench as tensions flared after that sequence. Spurs coach Stephen Clark said after the match that he was very proud of his players who worked hard for this win.
They really worked hard, they really put the effort, they did exactly what we asked them to do, and we came out with a victory. I don't think we do nothing less than a victory tonight. And it's a very important victory. One, he has a chance then to get in the semi-finals because we still want to compete and at least win a trophy this season, and FA Cup is a chance for us to do that. It's also a chance competing against a premier side, the top of the league, leading the league, and this win will boost well for us going into the remainder of the season also. That we know we can compete with this team in the Premier, so then we should just catapult and take this win and use it as a boost for the first division, second round.
Garden Hotspurs are the only Division 1 team left in the competition and have booked their spot in the semi-finals. In the night's earlier match, SL Horses St Paul's United came from 1-0 down to defeat Tropical Blossom Hot Spring Bath United 3-2. Chris Jeffers scored the first goal for Bath in the 19th minute, but in the second half it was all St Paul's. Henry Francis scored a brace in the 55th and 58th minutes, and Javon Leader added a third in the 66th minute. However, Dejal Myers scored a stunning bicycle kick to get one back for Bath and gave the division outfit hope for an equalizer. On Friday, May 9th, FA Cup quarterfinal actions began with an elimination of the defending champions MFCR Old Road United Jets. Tiquani Williams signaled his return to local football in fine style, as always, scoring Old Road's goal in the 39th minute. But within 3 minutes of the match, Village scored an equaliser and the winner with goals from Kaja Burnham in the 79th minute and Kimari Rogers in the 82nd minute. That match was followed by an exciting encounter between Saul Island Auto Supply's Connery FC and Development Bank St. Peters FC, which ended up in penalties after a 1-1 scoreline in regulation time. Connery's Javern Matthews scored in the 47th minute, but an own goal by Keandre Maynard in the 78th minute ensured St. Peters earned a goal and forced penalties. Connery's goalkeeper forced a save from Julan Gordon from St. Peters, which was enough for Connery to claim victory. Connery's coach, Al Richards, praised his players for their performance on the field.
Let me say congratulations to my team and the victory tonight. I think we had a good game tonight, overall, defensively, offensively. Apart from the mishap with the own goal, I think I'm satisfied with the result tonight.
Connery's goal scorer, Javern Matthews, said the players believed in themselves that they could have come away with the win.
I mean, it's just all about the mentality. You know, we may focus to the very end, encourage each other to...
Welcome you back to Warner Park for the second half of this semi-final encounter. Just getting on the way. Some 33 seconds in the half. St. Paul's looking to add to their lead, but Spurs having none of it. Tuck it, hitting this one long. Allen with it. Playing forward now, down the right side. This one is going to go into touch. Three goals to nil, St. Paul's leading. This encounter. Spurs onto it. Well, this one given away. Can Freeman get onto it? He does so. An opportunity to square this one across, but good tracking back there by Spurs, by Adams. Clearing momentarily, but Freeman with it still. And this one is going to go out for a corner. Another corner for St. Paul's. Looking to get a foot. Trusting numbers into the box. Two outside. This one in a dangerous area, and this one is into the back of the net. And it's Vionle Francis again. He has a brace, his second goal in the 40th minute of play. Tuckett having some words with the official, thinking that there was an infringement on him, but the ball bounced loose from his hands, and Vionle Francis was on spot to slot it home. It's goal number 4 in the 47th minute of play. That's when the goal came. And St. Paul's are now 4-0 up. Well, it's a uphill climb for Spurs to get back into this one. Ball being played forward for Challenger. Goes back to Allen. Allen finds Hajari. Square to Adams. Adams comes back to... It's Charles on it. He's dispossessed. And you see Liebert in some pain, but play continues. It's going to be Hajari into the box. And this one... Oh, it's a brilliant save. That one was a shot well taken, but there we see Liebert seems to have gotten a dislocated shoulder. He's in some pain. Liebert is down. You could see that he's in some serious pain.
Out number 44, 2 Diaz. In number 32, Chabel Hatch. Out number 23, Invino Charles. Out in number 27, Raquel Allen.
Well, still getting some attention. It's Liebert.
Francis in the 48th minute of play. SL Horsfords St. Paul, 4-0.
It's 4-0, but Liebert is down, and you could already see the physio asking for an immediate substitution. And just by the movement that he made, it appears that he may have dislocated that right shoulder. So you could see the medical staff coming onto the ground, and most of the St. Paul's team are huddled around him, and that's Liebert, and he's gonna have to be taken off field. It was a collision, and immediately he held on to the right shoulder, and he may have just popped out of place. From all reports, that can be very, very painful. The play has stopped. But if you're just joining us, the score is 4-0. It's St. Paul's running away with this one. Thus far, dominating the game, scoring at will. Really putting lots of pressure on on Spurs. But there you see Liebert being removed from the field of play. And just the grimace on the face tells you everything. Change has been made, and it's going to be Leader who's going to join play. Java Leader. Now you have both Leader brothers. Man in the midfield, they have removed Kalonji Clark already because he would have had an injury in a previous game. But the corner to be taken by Spurs now. And this one just sails over the crossbar. Again, McSheen, not the greatest of corners taken, but it looked like he was posing some problems. But it went sailing over the crossbar. It's going to be Omar Francis on the ball. Finds Raquel Leader. And an infringement going against St. Paul's. It's Fionre Francis committing that infringement. Nonetheless, play will continue. Adams is still down. Just taken perhaps a hand to the face. Slowly getting to his feet. We're in the 53rd minute of play.
Again, SL Horsfords Football.
And just a friendly touch there just to say, hey, no hard feelings, no negative intentions, but free kick for Spurs. Flat free kick going to the feet of Raquel Annan. It's going to be a ball played forward here for St. Paul's, cleared by Baptiste. Can Spurs get at least one back just to put a little bit of interest into this one? Most of the Rams Village Superstars fans, they have left the building. They would have seen their team winning on penalties and not needing to see any more of this, not waiting to see who they will have to play, but ball being played forward for Spurs now. Good opportunity to counter. Ball squared across, but it's going to be taken easily by Uzal Hodge. Spurs struggling to create any real pressure for St. Paul's. It's Darren Thomas on the ball on the left side. Finds Nickwan Phipps. And this one goes into touch. Off of Phipps. It's Heiliger who won that one. Ball being thrown in now. Still in a dangerous area. Spurs gets back onto it. Can they make anything of it? No, dispossessed by Javor leader. Goes forward to Freeman. Freeman was looking for Phipps, but Thomas cleans up that one. Good hard run in this one. Could find him. No good defensive work there by Heiliger. But Phipps is still running along the line, but runs out of real estate. And that one is going to go into touch. Well, this one is going to find Adams in midfield. Leader pressing his way forward and taking a shot. Comes off to Freeman. Freeman checks. Defenders around him. Still looking to turn onto that left foot. But it's going to go out for a goal kick. '55th minute of play. It's 4-0. It's a goal kick to Garden Hotspurs. Heiliger, played back to Heiliger. He has some work to do. It's been closed down quickly by Freeman. Well, Nikon Phipps picks up the loose ball. He looks square. He's hoping to find one running player, but it's leader picking up this one. Goes square. St. Paul's continue to press forward, looking for more goals. Good defensive work there by Baptiste. He has some space to move into. Looking for some support on the left side, but ran out of space there. St. Paul's with it again, looking to mount another attack. Darren Thomas down the left side. He has some space. He's been closed down momentarily by Heiliger. Heiliger gets the cross in nonetheless to Freeman and unable to put it on target, but found himself in space. No one was covering for him and unable to get it on target, but that's some worry for Spurs. You can't leave a player the quality of Freeman open in the penalty area. He's going to make you pay eventually. An infringement here. Spurs with it. Going to be taken by Max Sheen. Goes into touch. 58th minute of play. 4-0. St. Paul's leading this encounter. It's been very one-sided for most of the evening. St. Paul's continue to look strong. Continue to look for goals. Its leader trying to clear. Comes out to Hajari. Hajari floats this one up into the box. Leader. Adams gets onto it. It's dispossessed momentarily. Gets it back. And Spurs again. Here's Thomas doing some running, but it's going to be Max Sheen covering well in that moment. He gets it back. Goes back to his goalkeeper. He will now settle things down. Unable to see Heiliger just crying out for it in acres of space on the right side. This one goes into touch. 59th minute of play, closing in on the 60th minute of play. Two-thirds of the game has elapsed. Play continues down that side, but again, Spurs being messy with possession and gifting the ball away to St. Paul's via the way of a throw-in. Omar Francis goes back to Williams, sorry. Vionre Francis comes onto it now. Turning in midfield. Leader. That was Jackiel. Comes wide to Ordell. Ordell been put under a little bit of pressure there. Still looking to find Nikon Phipps. But that one goes into touch. Spurs with it now. Challenger brings it under control. Just outside of the area. Checks back onto his left. He's been closed down, but gets help from Heiliger. Heiliger looking for option. He has some space. He takes the space in front of him. Clips it just on the edge of the area. But it's cleared. He gets it back. Finds Baptiste. Baptiste goes wide to Max Sheen. Max Sheen lining up that thunderous course, but Adams picks it up. Tries to get a shot off, but St. Paul's looking to get out. Spurs getting back this one. It's Challenger with it, just on the area. Ordell Fleming looking to cover and does so really well and still wins the throw-in. The Spurs were able to mount a slight bit of pressure onto St. Paul's, but not able to sustain it to create any real problems for them. Nikon Phipps with it. Darren Thomas goes long to Keith Roy Freeman. Gets around one player. Looking to turn back. Unable to go anywhere. But he's still muscling his way. Dave Warner does the job. Finds Adams. Adams looks square. It's intercepted by Leader. That's Jackie Leader. Still on the ball. Goes queer to Javor Leader. Looking to play in Vionre Francis. But a bit too heavy, and good movement early off the line by Tuckett to collect that one. He hits this one long. Bit of a bounce on this one, but it goes into touch. Gonna have another change being made by St. Paul's, taking out Ordell Fleming, and the number 21 checks in. 21 is Kishoff Phillip, and number 19 is Green. He comes in for Nikon Phipps. Zama Green. St. Paul's giving the youngsters an opportunity, being up 4-0 really. It's the wise thing to do. And there is The number 21 just checking in into centre back. Green with it. Oh, strong challenge there. But Darren Thomas still with it. Adams intercepts. Spurs playing out cool and calm. Finds Challenger down the right. Challenger looking to get around Philip, but he commits an infringement. And Philip really had nowhere to go and just stood in the path of Challenger, not allowing him to break away on goal. But he's now partnering, Philip is now partnering Williams in central defense, giving Ardell Fleming a rest. Probably it's the first time I've seen Ardell Fleming going off in a game, and really it's not because he's not playing well, but rather the team is up 4-0 and realizing the bigger picture, still have the league to go and would have a finals to play once they complete this game in the lead. They're more than likely to win this one unless Spurs can make a really massive comeback there with a throw here on the near side. Warner with it. Takes the space in front of him, lining up a shot. And Ozal Hodge will take this one. There's Omar Francis motoring down the right side. And good defensive work there by Spurs. They have not been all tidy this evening. They have been a bit messy from time to time in defense. And have paid the price for it, not marking well, not covering well. St. Paul's with their quality will hurt you any day of the week if you're playing like that. Maybe still on the high, beating K on really, and not coming down. But yes, Vion Francis turning well into the area, looking to clip one in. But Adams comes away with the loose ball, looks wide, and a heavy pass there for Allen. Sorry, Hajari it was. It's not really a good pass. Hajari had a lot of work to do to get it. So Adams Allen with the ball. And an infringement on leader. Infringement on Hodge against leader, really. And the free kick, Philip standing over it. Just checking in. Looking to get themselves involved in this one. Getting it into a danger area. Cleared by Warner. Adams brings it down. Clips it forward. Play continues down that left side for Spurs, but intercepted easily by Williams. Cutting on the inside. There was Thomas for St. Paul. It's Thomas with it still trying to get around his marker, but that one coming off his hand. In the 66th minute of play, still a very good crowd in watching this one. The football fans have remained, nonetheless, the play will continue. Spurs looking to get an opening goal. Can they do so? Challenger with it. Goes back to Adams. Adams coming under some pressure, momentarily dispossessed. Gets it back. Goes down the line. Left line it is. Couple of step overs here. Comes back to Adams. Adams comes all the way back to Max Sheen. And Max Sheen with a bit of a heavy pass. That one is going to go into touch. Max Sheen has a very powerful left booter, but doesn't pay very much attention to the technical side of things. Saying good evening to one Steadroy Douglas and referee Sessa here. Ball goes into touch again for Spurs. Maxine cutting on the inside, dispossessed. But Spurs gets back the ball but gives it away again. Fionre Francis motoring forward. Checks, looking for some support. Not finding it, but still battling, but gets the foul going in his favor. Quick free kick taken, but it's going to be called back. Clock continues to tick away, and imagine Gordon Hotspurs unable to really mount too much of an attack against St. Paul's. They're going to be looking at the clock, and Darren Thomas with it being a bit indecisive. Comes back to Javor leader. He goes to Jackiel. Goes wide to Thomas. Thomas, 2 players to beat. Still with it. Still with it. Keeps going. He continues to go across the top of the area. Still another player. He's still with it, not looking to pass it up, but finally someone dispossesses him. But Darren Thomas with it with a good cross into the area. Coming off the head of good strong tackle there. Spurs unable to get out of the area and playing around with it, giving it away. Now it's Thomas onto it and player goes down. A good challenge, I think, but the flag goes up. It's going to go out for a corner. So a good one by Thomas. The ball was recycled and then he still got onto the end of it into the box. But it was a good defensive work there by Heiliger to get the ball out of play, and it's going to be out for it. So there's a player down, and he automatically asks for substitution. He must have injured something. More substitutions to come for St. Paul's. Javor leader is going to be going out. Coming in is the number 15. It's going to be Danielle Francis. And Darren Thomas comes out and Anthony Taines checks in. Players off the field for Spurs. Meets the first defender, that corner. Green gets this one on the far end. Shot is taken, picked up by Keith Wolfman. Good save by Tuckett. Very fortunate not to have gone past him. The Freeman was in acres of space. Spurs still trying to get it clear, but it skims off the foot of Heiliger. Hajari, sorry. Anthony Keynes with the throw. Green with it on the top of the area. Cleared by Adams. Up to Challenger. Challenger finds his partner but hits it very long. Francis with it. The number 15 just checking in. Comes back to Freeman. Looks wide for Thomas. Can he get it under control? He does so. But he's It's going to be cleared by Baptiste. We're in the 73rd minute of play. It's 4-0. St. Paul's leading this encounter. Hops an unassailable lead at this time, with Spurs unable to mount any real attack, but it's going to be Freeman running away with it. Tackle missed, but given away. Spurs with it now. Can they counter? Comfortably cleared by Philip, not allowing Spurs to get out easily. Even though St. Paul's are leading 4-0, still being very professional about their approach, not lapsing in defense to give Spurs any easy opportunities. They will have to work for any possible goal, and that's really the sign of a true championship medal kind of team. But here is Javor leader, unable to get it under control. He's dispossessed. Spurs with it now. It's Adams. Challenger gives it back to him, but Adams just taps it into the pathway of a St. Paul's player. It's going to be Francis, who has just come on, linking up with Green. Also a substitution. Substitute will come in. He's trying to cut on his right foot, but he's dispossessed. Adams in midfield picks it up. He's looking for options, but Green tracking back really well. He's battling, and there was a bit of a hand in the face for Green, and Adams commits that infringement. But pleading his case. Would have taken a trailing arm in the face there. We do have another substitution, the number 18 checking in, and the number 20. Is going to be Calgary for Spurs, and the number 18 is Kejor Pollock. Those are the two players who has just checked in. Raquel Allen, he went out. Missed the other player. This one hit long. Francis trying to control. Warner missed it as well. And Spurs players colliding. Pollock and Warner colliding there, but that one goes into touch. Corner kick for St. Paul's to be taken by Anthony Keynes. Goes to the far post, but dealt with by Spurs momentarily. Still in the area, Vianre Francis is battling his way, looking for the hat trick, but that one goes out for a corner. We're in the 77th minute of play. Vianre Francis, he has scored 2 goals. He scored the second goal and the fourth goal. It's going to be Anthony Keynes again, walking the long path all the way over to take this corner. And good reason why. He's probably the shortest player on the field. So would not have much of an advantage to win any headers. But corner taken. Poor one meets the first line of defense. But he's going to get throw in.
Skelec Hotspurs made the substitution. Out number 66, Marvin Rashid.
Long throw taken by Keynes. An infringement in the box goes against St. Paul's.
Out number 16, out number 15, we actually have Ajari.
Raquel Allen
In number 20,
trying to control, goes all the way back to Baptiste, gives it away to Thomas. Thomas has two players around him. Omar Francis hits long. Can Francis Daniel? But there's a Pollock with a very strong header back to Tuckett. This one goes long. Williams wins the header. Oh, Omar Francis is dispossessed, but he tracks hard and wins it back. Comes to Freeman. Freeman just touches it on for Javor leader. Comes wide to Green. Green is going to look to play with Keynes. Keynes takes care of it. Finds Green. Green touches it on to Francis, was just checked in. But Dave Warner does some good work. He's been working hard in defense. Has had his good moments, but not always well supported by his teammates. Into the 79th minute of play. It's Keith Freeman on the ball. Coming all the way back to Williams. St. Paul's in no hurry. Williams looking for movement. Had that one gotten through, I think Francis would have been in an offside position. He went a bit early. St. Paul's showing their dominance. Why they have won so many championships over the last couple of years. A team that has lost players from time to time, but players coming, fitting in, and doing the business. Here is Thomas down the right side. He's with it. Trying to check back, but that one is going to go out for a goal kick. As I was saying, the reason St. Paul's clearly been able to win so frequently is that they continue to find a good talent and find the right time to involve them in their squads. And they have been successful for such a long time. Nonetheless, they know that they lost out badly last year to Old Ward. Old Ward were comfortable winners against them, and deciding that they are wanting to get back into the finals, and they already have a finalist in Rams Village Superstars, and the battles between those teams are always fierce. And finals, FA Cup finals with St. Paul's and Rams Village Superstars will boast an exciting one. It's not over yet here. Even though St. Paul's up 4-0, stranger things do happen in sports, and that one goes into touch. No, they're not a team that would lapse really easily to give up 4 goals in the next 10 minutes. But nonetheless, Spurs would want to keep fighting in the 81st minute of play. It's 4-0. Another player would need some attention here. You're missing no action. There is a player down on the far side getting some attention. It's 4-0. First goal coming in the first minute from Kalonji Clark. Second goal in the 14th minute from Vion Francis. Third goal in the 24th minute by Keith Roy Freeman. And in the 47th minute of play, Vion Francis, he struck again for the 4th goal. Play gets underway. Spurs are down 1 man at the moment. He's getting some attention. Ball played back by Spurs. Bit of a risky pass. St. Paul's continue to be calm in defense. Philip with it. Comes to Keynes. Keynes giving it back to him. Philip looks long for Vionwe. Vionwe gets his body onto Dave Charles. He's trying to outmuscle him, but Spurs still with it. Giving it away. It's going to be Daniel Francis, but Dave Warner gets the work done. It's going to go out for a corner. '84th minute of play. St. Paul's with a throw. Anthony Kane's getting it into the area. What? Challenge going against Spurs. Shavel Hodge with the infringement. Keith Freeman picks up this one. Perhaps about 25 yards out. From this distance, he's perhaps going to be looking either to get it around the wall into the near post or to find someone on the far post. And it's the far post he's looking. A couple of persons trying to get a chance. It's Thomas pulling the trigger, but was closed down. And this one goes out for another corner. St. Paul's been very dominant in this encounter, not giving Spurs a chance. Really disciplined performance, really professional performance. Gerard Williams just biting on his nails, having an easy night at the office. But here is Freeman taking a deep shot, but that one was always going over. Very interesting that he has not gone out. And, perhaps trying to save players for what lies ahead, but he stays in. Philip is going to be called for an infringement, pushing challenger in the back. It's going to be Hodge with it for Spurs. Goes to Pollock. Pollock going to look for Carl Jalibert. He controls, but Keynes is looking to have a strong challenge. Jalibert took evasive action. If he's injured, it might have been because of how he fell. But Keynes did not get a touch on him. He may have fallen awkwardly. Is there an infringement? Well, it seems so. It's going to be a free kick. Curling this one just at the top of the area. It's going to be cleared by Gerard Williams. Comes all the way back to Warner. Warner finds Pollock. Pollock gets around Green. Coming along the right side. Carl Jalibert has made a run, but he's running into traffic. But still able to get away with it. Philip. It's played long for Warner. Warner turns. And does so comfortably. Carl Jalibert with it. A strong challenge again by Keynes. A no-nonsense sort of approach. We're in the 88th minute of play. Adams calls for it at his feet. Ball hit long. Ball cleared as far as Allen. Allen with it. Cuts on the inside. Not finding the support. But Omar Francis picks it up, finds Freeman. Freeman's looks to the left side. Has Green. Can he bring it under control? No. That one is into touch. Idea was good, but the bounce would have undone Green. The moment that one hit the turf, it was always going to skid away. Not controlled well by Green. Not a lot of time left in this one. Was squared across. Oh, another tackle by Green. St. Paul's looking to come away with it. Baptiste cleans things up momentarily, but Keynes is going to just look to recycle this one. No, it's going to go out for a throw to Spurs. Skelec Garden Hotspurs. Not giving a good account of themselves at all this evening. Just really outclassed thus far by St. Paul's. Ball squared across to Adams. Adams pushing it forward. Williams calling his keeper, not getting an answer, and just deals with the matter quite comfortably. All experience coming to bear there. Pollock with the throw. Controlled by Challenger. Pollock returns it to Challenger. He turns. Has support in Pollock. Not able to find him. Hodge unable to get around his marker. This one goes out for a throw. We're in the 90th minute of play. I'm interested to see how much time will be given, added on. Green crowded out with two Spurs players. Pollock standing over this free kick. Still looking for the fourth official. 90 minutes has elapsed. Oh, we're going to get no extra time in this one. No extra time whatsoever. And the final whistle goes on this game. 4-0 in favor of St. Paul's. And the first goal coming by Kalonji Clark. Second one by Vionwe Francis in the 14th minute. The 24th minute, Keith Roy Freeman struck. And the fourth goal came in the 47th minute of play. 4-0. A very one-sided affair here this evening at Warner Park. And St. Paul's has taken this one and walked their way easily into the finals. And they will be matched up against Rams Village Superstars. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for joining us here at the Sknfa semi-final here at Warner Park. It's Novel McCall closing out this one for you. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. We trust and hope that you enjoyed the coverage. Thank you very much.